Hi everyone, this is your week 2 weekly announcement. I wanted to get that off. Hold on. Okay. This is your week 2 weekly announcement, and what I do each week when I send these announcements is I look at the forum questions, and when students post questions to the weekly forum on Moodle, I will answer them on the forum so that other students can see my answer, but I also tend to address those questions in the weekly announcement as well. I didn't get any questions on the forum, so I know that's not a graded thing, but it can be really useful for you and your classmates if you'll take advantage of it. But the other thing I do is I go to your Mastering A&P and I look at the questions that it's showing me that you didn't do as well with. So it looks like you understand directional terms, but you don't necessarily understand how to use them when there are questions that kind of incorporate directional terms into these regional or these abdominopelvic regions. So let's go over the abdominopelvic regions first, and I'll give you some examples of questions you might get. All right, so right around the navel, or the where the umbilical cord would be attached, the umbilical region is in the very center. Directly superior to the umbilical region is the epigastric region. Notice I'm using some directional terms in my description here. So what would you say for the hypogastric region in relation to the umbilical region? So you would say the hypogastric region is inferior to the umbilical region. All right, let's move over to the right side of the body. I know it's the left side of the screen, but it's the right side of the body. So directly to the right side of the umbilical region is the right lumbar region. And you can remember that because it's parallel with the lumbar or the lower back region or the lumbar region of the back. So that's why we call it the lumbar region. So the right lumbar region would be lateral to the umbilical region. And then we could say this, we could say the umbilical region is medial to the right lumbar region. So now let's talk about the right hypochondriac region in comparison or in relation to the umbilical region. The right hypochondriac region is also lateral to the umbilical region, but it is, in addition to being lateral or to the side, it's also superior to the umbilical region. So this is the right hypochondriac region, the right lumbar, and then the right inguinal region. And the right inguinal region would be inferior to the umbilical region, and it would also be lateral to the umbilical region. Let's see. Let's move over to the left, and you have the same ones on the left that you have on the right. So you have the left hypochondriac region, the left lumbar region, and the left inguinal region. So we could say that the left inguinal region in comparison to the umbilical region would be inferior and lateral. So what about the hypogastric in relation to the left inguinal region? We would say that the hypogastric is medial to the left inguinal region. It's medial because it's to the midline of the body. Now we can't use some of the directional terms like anterior and posterior because these regions are not, they all would be anterior. So one is not going to be more anterior than the other. They're being shown on the front side of the body or the anterior side of the body. So they would all be anterior as far as that goes. But we can't use anterior and posterior. We can't use proximal and distal because they're not in relation to a major joint. And we can't use superficial and deep because the regions are just areas of the surface, basically. So, it doesn't make sense to use those terms. But anyway, that covers some of the directional terms and some of the body abdominopelvic regions. Those were some of the types of questions that you guys were missing a little bit more often. So now let's go to your course and talk about what you've got to do for this week. Tonight, it's not going there. Slow today. For tonight, what's due by 11:59 p.m., what's actually graded is going to be the Chapter 1 quiz. Let me look real quick. Okay, it's not posted here, but on your syllabus, there's also a lab. So I just saw a mistake. So in the activities, we should also have that there is a Chapter 1 lab that you need to complete. And then in the okay, I apologize. I just wanted to show you on Mastering A&P that there is a Lab 1. So you will need to complete Lab 1 and the Chapter 1 quiz. These are both graded activities that are due by tonight at 11:59. So going back to our Moodle page, let's go to week 2. Week 2, we're covering the chemistry. Instructional content is to read your Chapter 2 in your e-text. Here's your link to Mastering A&P. And then also to view the Chapter 2 recorded lectures and slides. And while you're viewing the recorded lectures, I highly recommend that you take notes. Then your activities are the Chapter 2 dynamic study modules and your acid and base lab. It says that is in Moodle, and it's not. I know let's look back at assignments. No, the chemistry lab is in Mastering A&P. I apologize for these mistakes, but at least doing this, I know to correct them. But you do have, again, for next week, you do have a lab that's in Mastering A&P, not Moodle, and then you have a Chapter 2 quiz in Mastering A&P. So I'll make those corrections to the Moodle page, but the main thing is your graded activities for tonight and for next week on Monday night, August 29th on Monday night, by 11:59 p.m. would be your lab and your quiz in Mastering A&P. And you can get used to that on a weekly basis. The only thing that you might have in addition that would be graded would be a lecture exam or a lab practical exam. So that covers what is due that's graded, but I also encourage you to complete the other activities even that are not graded because those activities are designed to help you learn the material. All right, so I hope you guys have a great week, and just email me or call me. Just let me know if I can help you in any way.